Rescuers told this owner his dog had died, but they were secretly putting a plan into action. The man had beaten his dog close to death, but he still refused to hand her over to the shelter. Indeed, it seemed like the only release she would have from her pain was in death. Then rescuers had an idea. It would only work, however, if her owner believed that she was dead. In October 2015, staff at an animal shelter in Egypt found themselves in a situation that truly tested their principles. A man bought his injured dog, a purebred pit bull, to be precise, for the shelter staff to treat. They were, however, horrified by the animal's condition. The pit bull was just a pup, but her young age hadn't done anything to deter her abuser. In fact, he'd already beaten her close to death, and she was not even a year old. The physical evidence of the pup's cruel treatment was therefore obvious. His brutal attack had been so ferocious that the dog's jaw had been broken as a result. Indeed, it was so badly damaged that the mandible visibly hung limply to one side. This wasn't the first time that the pit bull's owner had beaten her either. Yes, sadly, it seemed to be an almost daily occurrence. For reasons known only to him, on this occasion the man's temper was in overdrive, and the result was almost fatal for his puppy. Yet despite how desperate the pit bull's situation was, there was another complication. Unfortunately, this man had power over the animal shelter. In a darkly ironic twist, the animal abusers owned the building in which the shelter was based. If they didn't approach the situation carefully, then the workplace would be in jeopardy. Indeed, if they lost their lease, the shelter would be forced to close. Initially, shelter staff tried the diplomatic approach. They spoke to the dog's owner with the intention of convincing him to give the puppy up. However, he didn't want to relinquish his living punching bag and refused their proposition. The situation seemed hopeless. Next, the shelter came with a new plan, and it was one they wouldn't have to accomplish alone. Fortunately, they happened to be the sister shelter to an animal rescue organization in the US. The group is a non-profit team called Special Needs Animal Rescue and Rehabilitation, SNARR. Our mission is to give hope to the hopeless, SNARR states on its official website. We focus on animals least likely to receive another chance due to physical, emotional, or health issues. We hope to inspire other rescuers and the public to do the same. Considering how the puppy's owner had abused her, why he refused to give her up is a mystery. Whatever his reasons, though, the shelter knew of only one way to rescue her without incurring their landlord's wrath: tell the man that his dog was dead. If they had not, she would have likely suffered more beatings. Lauren Connolly, foster coordinator for SNARR, subsequently told the Dodo she would have starved because she couldn't eat with her jaw the way it was, without specially mixed food. Thankfully, her owner didn't even question her death. Indeed, the dog was saved without a hitch and flew over to Pennsylvania, where Connolly was waiting. She subsequently named the dog Lucy and took her to a veterinarian the following morning. Poor Lucy's beatings had left her in a terrible state, both physically and emotionally. Furthermore, not only was Lucy's jaw broken, but it had also become infected. The smell of Lucy's infection would turn your stomach, Connolly later told the Huffington Post. It was awful. We had to make dog food soup so she could lick it with her tongue, Connolly explained. The vet said the jaw was broken in 2 places. She was either kicked or hit with something strong like a brick. Indeed, such was the severity of the injury that Lucy had to undergo reconstructive surgery to fix it. After a course of antibiotics, Lucy's mouth infection started to clear up, but due to the harm on her jaw, she was referred to an orthopedic specialist. Connolly told the Dodo how the doctor then essentially rebuilt the jaw from the ground up. The operation was successful, but Lucy was still unable to eat solid food while it healed. The damage was in fact so extensive that the poor dog had to wear a brace around her jaw as the bones mended. And while the doctors fixed Lucy's body, her rescuers were healing her mind. Yes, despite all the suffering she'd been through, Lucy proved that you can't keep a good dog down. In fact, her personalities blossomed under SNARR's care. Lucy is a very loving, very fun, and very happy-go-lucky puppy, the group subsequently wrote on its Facebook page. It is amazing after all she has endured, the update continued. Even after being abused so badly, she is a pretty well-adjusted puppy, who loves anyone she meets. As a consequence of her past, Lucy was still nervous of unfamiliar adult males, although she was never violent. Moreover, after months of recovery, Lucy eventually learned to enjoy using her mouth. She developed a healthy and hearty appetite and a love of licking friendly humans. In fact, she enjoyed showing her affection with doggy kisses so much that she was nicknamed Licky Lou. For a while, Lucy was healing with a loving foster family, but in July 2016, SNARR had an announcement to make. Licky Lou had been adopted. She's a proud new Arizona resident and will be dearly loved, the group wrote on its Facebook page. Happy life, little one. Please share this video with your friends below.